Greetings, flesh wound horror freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Horror. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
What's up?
And Mike Kruger.
What's up, you sick motherfuckers?
So we are here tonight to review a highly anticipated new film from Dario Argento, his first film in about a decade. Dark Glasses. Very excited, and in case you're unfamiliar, this one follows Diana, a young call girl who lost her sight and finds a guide in a Chinese boy named Chin. Together, they will track down a dangerous killer through the darkness of Italy. All right, so
not the greatest of descriptions.
Yeah,
not the greatest.
Kind of leaves out a big thing, but I guess that's kind of whatever.
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
So obviously we're huge Argento fans. For the most part, I think most horror fans are, in fact, Argento fans. And, well, let's just be perfectly honest. At least for me, it was a crying shame to think that he would go out with his Dracula, which I thought was pure garbage. And Giallo wasn't great either. So
I will give Giallo the pass because he was a hired hand.
Yeah, fair enough. Dracula's his unforgivable sin in my eyes. But when they announced this, a lot of people were excited, but I was kind of like, I don't know.
Well, we know that, Dan. You're our turn in the punch bowl.
Well, let's be real. After Dracula, I think most might have been.
I know, but you're our turn in the punch bowl, Dan, is what I'm saying.
I don't know that I'm a turn in a punch bowl yet. I'm not giving my opinion on that.
I know. I'm not saying that in general you are.
But
yeah, I remember Sleepless, you motherfucker. You totally ruined that review.
I know. That shocks me. That was as of this recording, his last great Giallo.
Well, Sleepless had a fantastic opening. It just didn't quite hold up. But nonetheless, obviously I'm rooting for Dario, who is 81 years old. So the fact that he's still making films at all is pretty amazing. All right, so we'll dive right into it. For me, there's some criticisms here. Is this the return of the master? No. It is certainly his best film in a little while, though, in my opinion. It's a little unusual. There's no real mystery in this film. The killer is well, he's just there. You know who the killer is.
Well, they reveal it, though. You don't know until like the final act.
Yeah, but there's not much of a mystery in terms of the killer in this one. So there might be certain Giallo elements that some people may not be present for. But there's a lot of callbacks to his earlier films, the dog scene in Suspiria. There's
Cat of Nine Tails.
Cat of Nine Tails, yes, going back to the blind character, which he was never satisfied with Cat of Nine Tails. I like Cat of Nine Tails a lot, but Argento was not satisfied with it. A little history on this movie. This actually began its life back in 2002 as a script that he was getting ready to make with producer Vittorio Cecchi, and who went bankrupt, and this was shelved. It was only found by Asia Argento, who was going through some of Dario's things, and to work on her autobiography, Anatomy of a Wild Heart, which I still need to read. And she came across it and ended up producing it. Little surprised that Aja didn't star in the lead role herself. This time it goes to Elenia Pastorelli as Diana. Very beautiful lady.
She was good.
She was pretty good. Yeah, some of the acting's a little spotty here, but overall, pretty good. It's not the return of the master, but at least it feels like an Argento film. The score was really good. The cinematography was pretty good. It's a little more straightforward. It's not like kind of like a surreal dream logic kind of take that he's had in past films. Like I said, there's not much to it if you're looking for like a mystery, but I was entertained by this one. there is some suspense. There's some good shots. One involving snakes and pretty suspenseful chase.
The snake scene alone, like that is the type of absurdity that I love in giallo films. Like it just fucking Chin and Diana are in this random pool of snakes, and now this snake is strangling Diana, and they're getting 1,000 bites on. Like, just it's so out of left field, random as fuck, but awesome.
And I like those two. I think they were likable characters. You know,
yeah, they had a good dynamic.
Hooker and an orphan Chinese boy. I thought they played off each other pretty well.
Although at one point I thought they might have been reenacting a scene from Asia Argento's life, but we didn't get that far.
Yeah, no, nothing quite like that.
That little kid was a pimp, though. He's like, I see him. He's sleeping in that bed with that prostitute. I'm like, yeah, she's blind, but she's still pretty goddamn hot. Like, this kid's like fucking knew what was up. He's like, she got me some video games. I'm going over there.
There was a funny line at the beginning when she was with that one like old fat dude, and I was like, I'm going to find your swinger or something that made me laugh. It was a little cringy, but
I imagine Dan's used that line too.
That's fucked up, Todd. Yeah, I like this one. Again, I don't want to set expectations super high. This is nowhere near his early films, which were almost all classics for the most part. But I feel good that it's not the Toby Hooper going out on gin scenario. I really thought Dracula was it for him, and I'm happy to see that we get something that's pretty solid. I am going to say this. Had Asia starred in the lead role, I wanted the killer to be revealed as the ghost of Anthony Bourdain, but didn't happen here. But anyways, Kruger, what did you think? Because I was happy overall with this one.
I'll tell you this. Once the first kill sequence happened, I was so overgrown with joy just because it brought me back to the classic kill sequences that, you know, used to be in Argento's films, like stuff in the opera, and just with the soundtrack and everything, like this, like the soundtrack slowly going from this brooding and then this upbeat, and then the chase starts happening, and it was just like a party every time a kill sequence was happening. I was just having such a good time. Like the soundtrack was really, I saw some people like complaining about the soundtrack. I thought it was fucking great.
I think so.
Yeah.
Also, just, you know, some of the gore in this was way better than expected. I actually went in thinking, you know, this was going to be very minimal, but like we got a pretty nasty neck sliced open, falling back like a Pez dispenser, some animal attacks. It was, you know, pretty nice with the effects. And I have heard that like some of his other like later movies, the effects are very lacking. So it's good to see, you know, him bring the gore back. Diana, like I already said, I really loved her character. Like she's this prostitute that takes absolutely no shit from anybody. And then to watch her go from that to this vulnerable blind woman and her just trying to figure out, you know, how to get through her daily life. And then she forms this bond with this dog. I mean, I just thought that whole relationship was awesome, along with her relationship with Chin. I mean, it's no secret, like, you know, she causes a car accident, kills his parents. It's in the synopsis I've seen, and like the fact of that, like, and just how she feels guilty about it, but she also doesn't want this kid staying around her house, so she's kind of fighting back and forth. I thought that was really well done too. I already talked about the giallo ridiculousness that I love with the stupid snake thing, and also like just the final act.
On the subject of stupid cops, how do you react if your partner just gets mowed down by a van that he was shooting
and then he was the one,
and then you sit down, you take your attention away from the car, which is right there, to look at him, and that dumbass might as well have been screaming, "Please stab me in the back."
No,
really dumb moment.
That is fair. That was actually the one moment that I did say, "Oh, that's kind of stupid." And
they've always had stupid beat cops though in giallo.
Yeah,
maybe not.
True.
Maybe not.
Trope. It's a trope for sure. Yeah.
One thing that I did think was a little bit lackluster, I wanted a little bit more out of the final act. because it did feel like it kind of dragged a little bit, and then like the final confrontation we have with the killer wasn't as satisfying as I wanted it to be. But where it did go, I did like a lot. You know, I was kind of hoping for that the second a certain thing gets introduced into the story, and we got that. So I was very pleased with the ending. So overall, like I said, it's not a classic, but I think it's a fucking goddamn good time and one of the better like giallos I've seen from this time period for sure. So I highly recommend it if you're an Argento fan, just because I think if you've liked his classic movies, he pays homage to them enough in this to where you're going to have a really good time.
Absolutely. Todd, before you reveal your thoughts, keep in mind, and I'll pose this to all of you, do you think most are going to consider this at least the best movie he did since Sleepless, or is there one post Sleepless that you enjoyed more? And I guess I guess that also includes the Masters of Horror episodes.
Well, yeah, those are fantastic.
Well, my answer's been what it's been for a while. It's the best thing he's done since Do You Like Hitchcock? That's what I do really like.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of that one.
Yeah. Well,
it's better than Card Player, but I haven't revisited Card Player in a while.
I think that's the best thing he's done. And now Black Glasses is up there with it. Like it feels more like traditional giallo, which I like. It doesn't feel like Argento's done some masterpieces. This is no Tenebrae.
Yeah,
he won't. But I think if this was made 40 years ago, I think this would be one people liked.
I think it would be like hold to the standard that Eyeball is. Like,
okay,
you get what I mean?
Yeah. But for Argento giallo made in 2022, I had a great fucking time. I went in like, please be good, please be good.
Me too.
And I wasn't disappointed. I went in with low expectations, hoping for the best. It did not disappoint, and I will definitely be revisiting this one again.
Is it getting a Blu-ray?
It will be, I'm sure. I haven't heard anything stateside. I know there's the German one, but other than that, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who picks it up stateside.
Yeah, I definitely would want to add this to my collection the second I find out.
Yeah, and realistically, at this point, I think it's almost unfair. Like, it's not going to be Suspiria. It's not going to be Deep Red. It's not going to be Bird with a Crystal Plumage. That's just unfair expectations to put on it. But yeah, I did enjoy it. And anything we get from him at this point, and he's going to be turning 82, I believe, soon, is a gift. So it warmed my heart. I don't think I'm overhyping it again. And if you don't give a crap about Argento for some reason, maybe it won't play quite as well. But I think it's a solid thriller with likable characters and some pretty solid suspense. The car crash, everything at the beginning, all of that was beautiful and
gory as fuck too.
I knew you were gonna be happy with the gore.
That was the goriest fucking car crash I've seen in a minute. Like, and I had just watched Crash for.
I was gonna say you just watched Crash too.
Different reaction to the car crash.
Well, I mean, Crash has its moments too, though. Like it's it's nasty bits, but
I don't know what the guy was doing in his white van. I'll just say.
That's true.
Actually, we do have spoilers, so let's get past this line because I have something. There was a part that I popped ridiculously for that I just thought was fucking hilarious, but. All right, well, let's just rate this bitch then. For me, I'm a 3.5 out of 5. And I highly recommend this if you liked Cat of Nine Tails, because I love that one, and this was definitely like a nice homage to that film.
Yeah, it's got a thing about blind people too. I mean, also, demons and blindness is kind of a theme, but wow. For me, yeah, I'll do 3.5 as well. Obviously, there's a lot of 5s on his resume, but I'm going to still do a 3.5. Yeah. I had a good time. How about you, Todd?
I'm rating off my enjoyment, and my enjoyment is a 4. I did really have a good time with this one. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I do believe this is supposed to be getting a Shudder release in the fall, maybe. I don't have any specific date, but somebody told me it is going to get a Shudder release. So, yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I wonder if they're doing if it's going to be like a Shudder exclusive or if it's just something that they're picking up.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
Because they do put out Blu-rays, so I mean, we could get it from them too.
I'm sure that one will get. I'm sure this will get a Blu-ray, one way or the other.
All right. Well, on that note, let's hit spoilers.
Okay, so the part that killed me is when the killer or the dog trainer, he goes to meet Diana before before he goes after her, and she's just talking about how he stinks and he needs to take a shower. So she's waiting for him, and he comes down, and he's like, and she's like, "What took you so long?" And then he's like, "Fuck you, bitch," and leaves. And then you realize, like, it took a second for it to click in my head, and I'm like, he just jerked off in her fucking bathroom. What a fucking asshole! That is fantastic.
Left a floater or something, just.
Like probably just took a nasty shit and then came on her towels.
I hope he gave her an upper decker. She smelling her shit. That should have been an elevator because she's blind, so the shit smells even worse.
Well, it was before she was blind, but yeah, I get what you mean.
That would be a good psychological horror tale. He keeps breaking into her apartment, just taking a shit in random places.
I think we just booked Upper Decker as our next horror.
It's like this movie done by Trauma. It'd be like a Trauma collab with Dario.
Oh shit. The car crash, like the fact that the car, it went up in the air and then took off the whole top of the hood of the car and like just crushed the two parents' faces, and that one, I think it was the dad, his eyeball is just fucking hanging out. That was a nice little touch and just awesome. Granted, maybe I wanted to see Chin get killed too, but it was definitely nice to just see it rather than just a normal car crash. I was surprised actually with all the like stunts and stuff, like with the cars, like cars flipping over, and like it didn't look like just this little small budget production. Which
he didn't have a lot of money, but yeah, I think impressive because you got to remember at this point, he's making these things for a lot less than he used to have. So
he hasn't had money since pre-2000.
Yeah.
Really Sleepless does feel larger scale. That's probably the last thing that he really had any kind of real money for.
Even then, I still think it's a step down from some of his earlier stuff. Sure, but it's not period piece, so it's not like Phantom of the Opera. So it was a little bit, a little bit different. Because even by Trauma, you could, the budgets are getting smaller. I mean, once they hit the 90s, all that money was drying up.
Oh yeah, before, yeah. No, I thought everything was. I mean, there's a few moments here and there where it maybe shows its budget, but for the most part, nothing was distracting.
I was gonna say with the spoiler stuff, though. Do you have anything else before we go? I mean, the killer.
I just wanted to say that whole dog thing at the end, like it was kind of stupid. This dog just jumps on them and this guy fucking falls over, But seeing this practical, like fake dog face rip this guy's
yeah, you can see the guy just
what? Better than CG though.
Agree, 100%.
Like it brought me back. Like that's shit that I love seeing because it brings me back to the old ways of making film. And like that, that was just awesome. That was like the little cherry on the top of the sundae for me, just because you don't see that shit anymore. And it's like, yeah, they couldn't actually have the dog attack this guy, or PETA would probably be up his asshole. So fuck.
Right. Wouldn't it be funny if he trolled all of us, and at the very end, because we get the happy ending, if a giant praying mantis just came down and bit Chin's head off and just ties it into like Dracula somehow. I don't want that, but
you want to hear something funny about CGI? Did you know the Oscars disqualified the movie Tron back in '82 from a special effects Oscar because they said using computers was cheating? So
that's fucked.
They've changed their mind apparently.
Yeah, no shit. Jesus Christ.
I feel like they owe Tron something,
right?
At that point. But
all right. Any spoilers before we get out of here? I mean, we can. If you got more to say, fine. I just want to know spoiler stuff. We good?
I think you're done spoilers. I don't think there's anything.
You don't want to say anything about the identity of the killer or anything like that.
No. Maybe she should have dropped the line, "Wash your ass" or something after. But
I'd say that was kind of racist, Dan. But you can get away with that.
I'm part Italian, sir.
I said, but you can get away with that.
I can do Italian and German voice. I'm okay. I'm covered.
Well, we know you can do German voice.
We hear that in private all the time. Anyways, yeah, so definitely check this one out for you Argento fans and your Giallo fans, because I think you'll have a good time. Exceeded my expectations, so that's always a plus.
And I don't think we overhyped it. I mean, obviously it felt good to not have to shit on Argento, so I was feeling pretty good after the movie. But
there's a couple other Giallo that recently got released too that we're gonna have to check out. Nightmare Symphony is one of the big ones, and it's supposed to be like a Fulci tribute film. We're gonna have
definitely cover that. Before we go, guys, if you haven't voted yet, Born to Be Rad, check out his channel and the video which is in the description. Vote for us. It's very tight, but we're coming up to the end here, so we really appreciate it. Vote for us for Horror YouTuber of the Month. And other than that, check out all our other shows. And good night.
Todd?
Good evening.
Stay sick, motherfuckers.